took the team to a Super Bowl. And, Rich, you like what you're seeing from him on tape.
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot to like about Colin Kaepernick and his game, but, you know, he does a lot of things well. He's certainly not a finished product, but I've seen improvement with him functioning and being more patient in the pocket.
With a look at Andre Roberts, and there is 39-year-old Phil Dawson. 49ers won the toss. They have deferred. Redskins will receive. Washington's offense is number 7 coming in, and they're number 20 right now in points per game. It's the Redskins and the Niners, and here we go from Santa Clara. A couple yards deep. Andre Roberts will bring it out. Then Trone tried to bring him down. He comes from the Cardinals, returning kicks, and knocked out of bounds by L.J. McCray on a return of 18 yards. So here is a look at Robert Griffin III. His career probably, at least as a Redskin, Rich, on the clock as they evaluate him from this week through the end of the year.
And, Kevin, it is so important that he get off to a good start. You know, you need to build his confidence. He has struggled the last 2 weeks. We've talked about that. And he can't worry about what people outside the organization are saying. Just got to go out and play like he's capable of.
He has 4 wide, beginning things here. Quickly outside, Deshaun Jackson. We got a block on the play from fellow wide receiver Ryan Grant. He picks up 7. He's up near the 24-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play. Let's take a look at the rest of the offense. Significant change in the line as left tackle Trent Williams out with a knee and ankle. So rookie Morgan Moses will make his first NFL start. And tight end Jordan Reed is out with a hamstring. Niles Paul will get the start there. Second down and 3. Look out from behind. Alden Smith with a sack. Back at the 15. They lose 9. Smith already putting his fingerprints on this one.
Well, with Trent Williams out, you cannot afford to take the extra hits. I mean, this is just too easy for Alden Smith. Moses actually in pretty good position, but Griffin takes the extra hitch. Not sure where to go with the football. That allows Alden Smith to come off the edge. Well, it's so important to help these tackles early. You've got a rookie starting at left tackle.
3rd and 12. High and wide. He almost picked off by Eric Reed as they were looking for wide receiver Andre Roberts. Redskins have to punt. 3 and out on their first possession.
Not what they were looking for, Kevin. They haven't had an opening drive touchdown in the last 14 games, and they go 3 and out. We talked about a fast start, important for RG3 in this offense.
Tress Way, who's the #1 punter in the NFL, will be punting to Parrish Cox of San Francisco. Way is out of Oklahoma. Parrish Cox back at about the 36-yard line. Been hit by a couple on the play, including Akeem Davis. And a 48-yard punt with a 3-yard return. Here is a look at Colin Kaepernick. As we talked about before, the direction that you see him going is up, and his numbers prove it.
Yeah, it's really encouraging. You know, I sat down with Jim Harbaugh on Friday, Kevin, and said, you know, you can't compare one quarterback to another, and he's right. I mean, they're all so different. No 2 quarterbacks throw the ball exactly the same. Never going to be Joe Montana or Steve Young. He is different, but he is special.
Miller comes in motion. It is a 1st and 10. Look at the time. Going deep. And he's got Crabtree. Incomplete. Coverage by Tracy Porter. Off his fingertips and incomplete. On the Niner line today, rookie Marcus Martin makes his 4th start for the injured Daniel Kilgore at center. Right tackle Jonathan Martin starts for the injured Anthony Davis. We expect to see a steady diet today of Frank Gore, a top 10 rusher in the league again.
Yes.
Now the Niners 2nd down and 10. Out of the pistol, this is Kaepernick. Chased by Robinson. Out of bounds about the 47, 48-yard line. Robinson with the nice play. Gain of 7 on the play. Redskin defense, number 10. Stephen Bowen starts at nose tackle for the injured Chris Baker. At linebacker, Ian Robinson, who just made that tackle, leads them in tackles this season, third-year player. And in the defensive backfield, Tracy Porter, a former Raider, replaces David Amerson as a starter at the right cornerback position. They've already tested Porter today.
Battle on the hamstring over the last 5 or 6 weeks.
He's inactive for 6 of the first 7 games. Third down and 3.
Yes.
Staley holds off the block. Nice throw. Bolden. Merriweather tried to rip it out of there. Tackled by E.J. Biggers. The gain to the 34-yard line of Washington. 19-yard pickup and a first down.
I just love throwing the football to a guy like Anquan Bolden. I mean, you study the film of Bolden, he looks like a tight end. He's so big, he's so physical, and he's comfortable working in the middle of the field.
Against the Redskins a season ago, had a couple of touchdown receptions. They just played last year, 94 yards in that game for Bolden. Here's a 1st and 10.
Great. What's the blitz?
And Gore with the Miller block and a Upati block. And he takes it down to about the 30-yard line on the play. A couple down there with the stop, including Robinson on a gain of 4.
They love to run to the left side behind those big monsters over there, Mike Upati and Joe Staley, both Pro Bowl players. Of course, Frank Gore. He's an old school back and great respect for what he's been able to accomplish.
Drizzle.
Good look at that offensive line. Gore, by the way, averaging about 4.1 a carry. His career 4.6. Hyde is in now.
Line games, here come.
2nd down and 6 for Colin Kaepernick, and going deep, and he's got his receiver Bolden. Touchdown. They beat Merriweather. 30-yard touchdown pass by Colin Kaepernick to Anquan Bolden.
Well, Anquan Bolden, he's just going to run the corner route. It's a nice job, very patient, gets up on the heels of Merriweather. Really nice throw there from Colin Kaepernick.
That is the 5th opening drive touchdown for San Francisco this season. That is tied for number 1 in the NFL. Dawson will try to tack on one more, making it 7-zip. The Niners with 11:13 to play in the first quarter. So they got the 19-yard pass to Bolden, and then the 30-yard touchdown pass to Anquan Bolden, now in his 2nd season here.
Well, Kaepernick missed an earlier throw in the game to Crabtree. Comes right back on a very similar concept where Anquan Bolden's working to the corner. Good protection, good decision from Kaepernick.
There's a look at Jim Harbaugh. We've got a lot to talk about with him. Rich has visited with him, and the 3rd member of our crew today is Scotty Kaplan on the sideline. Scott?
Well, Kevin, it's been a rough start today already for RG3, but then again, it's been a rough week for Robert Griffin III and these Washington Redskins. Sunday, poor performance against Tampa. Then the bad press conference where Coach Gruden told us a lot of his teammates were offended by what he said. Monday, Griffin comes back into the team. He stands up at a team meeting. He apologizes, and according to a lot of the Washington defensive players that we spoke to on Saturday, they have officially cleared the air.
Well, thanks, Scott. You know, you think about your number 1 responsibility as a quarterback when it comes to the media. Absorb as much of the criticism and the blame when things aren't going well or after a loss, and of course deflect as much of the attention away from yourself after a victory or when things are going well. Back onto your teammates and the coaches.
You think that's kind of part of the description of the job?
That's part of being a quarterback in this league.
This is Andre Roberts, their 2nd consecutive return, brought down by Leon McFadden, 19-yard return. Well, Jay Gruden addressed this with our CBS cameras a little bit earlier in the week.
First of all, Robert needs to understand he needs to worry about himself, number 1, and not everybody else. It's his job to worry about his position, his footwork, his fundamentals, his reads, his progressions, his job at the quarterback position. It's my job to worry about everybody else.
He was pretty succinct and right to the point.
Well, he sent a message, I think, not just to his quarterback, but to the team, in that he's no longer the gold child. He has to play to remain the quarterback, play well to remain the quarterback of the Redskins.
Alfred Morris on 1st and 10, wrapped up, brought down. Chris Borland led the crew. Rookie out of Wisconsin. There is no gain on the play. They stay at the 21.
Well, Kevin, you and I visited last night, and we talked about the keys to the game for the Washington Redskins, and we said every play, you better find number 50, Chris Borland. You better get ahead on him. I'm just telling you, he's good for 15 or 16 stops a game, and you better make sure those linemen account for him in the running game.
He replaces the injured Patrick Willis, out for the season with the toe. It's a 2nd down and 10. Alfred Morris, big time hole, and chased by Will Hoyt and brought down by Antoine Bethea as he gallops to the 43, 23-yard pickup for the number 9 rusher in the NFL.
Well, nothing special here. I mean, just a downhill run. This is a zone run team, and Alfred Morris gets a good look at it. Ahmad Brooks misses a tackle in the hole. You see the lineman get up on the 2nd level. Good, strong run by Alfred Morris.
First down and 10. Oh, he bumped into Young, and that's a busted play. And here comes the avalanche of defensive players, led by Will Hoyt and others. A loss of a couple on the play, back to the 40-yard line. Griffin has to eat it.
Well, these are the mistakes, Ken. These are mental errors. This is on the quarterback. He doesn't even realize there's a fullback in the game. He runs right into Darrell Young. He's trying to get the ball deep to Alfred Morris, but doesn't realize it. That gets back to the little things. It's footwork in the running game. And those are the mistakes right now that are crippling this Redskins offense.
Or on that play, just knowing who your personnel is.
Absolutely. You got to know who's in the game.
Halou is in now, 2nd and 13. Griffin moves up nicely, going deep for Jackson. Almost has it working against Reed, working against Chris Culliver. Looked like a catchable ball to Deshaun Jackson. He is number 1. Oh, and Reed is down.
Well, you just watch at the end here. This is too deep coverage. And this is kind of a force, if you will, from RG3. Look at the safety. Reed's in position. Culliver's in position. It's not like you're throwing to a 6'5" receiver in Deshaun Jackson.
So as we said, Reed was injured. Now on the other side, Jackson looks like maybe he has tweaked something. While he's number 1 in the NFL in yards per reception as they continue to look at the number 1 pick out of LSU a season ago, Eric Reed, a Pro Bowler as a rookie. Had an interception last week against the Giants. Good sign there if you're a Niner fan that he walks off under his own power, but will sit out the next play, which will be a 3rd and 13 for Washington.
And, you know, these are the situations, Kevin, that the Redskins want to avoid. In 3rd and 10-plus situations, they're 1 of 36 this season.
Oh, my gosh.
They've been awful on 3rd and long. And, you know, this is where you got to worry about Aldon Smith. You got to worry about Ahmad Brooks. This is where Vic Fangio likes to have fun on 3rd down.
Craig Dahl has checked in for the injured Reed, 3rd and 13. He'll take it himself. And no place to go there. Justin Smith on the line, brings him down. Borland had a hand, no gain on the play. They stay at the 40. They got a punt again.
Well, this is the game that you have to worry about. It's the TE game, and Justin Smith, he's going to eat up 2, and then, you know, Aldon Smith gets a clear shot at RG3. And this guy is a handful. He played 54 of the 70 snaps last week.
Way to punt again, and Parrish Cox will chase this one down. Nice English landing and dying at the 5. A 55-yard well-placed punt by the number 1 punter, as we said before, in the NFL. Tresway, who was acquired off waivers in middle August, let go by Chicago and given a 2-game preseason tryout. He won the job, and now he leads the league. Well, Thursday Night Football returns in 2 weeks. Romo and the Cowboys take on the Bears, who won today, as 2 of the NFL's greatest franchises meet in prime time. Thursday Night Football returns December 4th at 8 o'clock Eastern Time, live on NFL Network. As you see, the Cowboys, so far the only undefeated team on the road this season.
And the Bears, Kevin, have struggled at home, although they've won their last two against Minnesota and today against Tampa Bay.
Here's Kaepernick now marooned at his 5. Argues on a touchdown pass. 1st and 10. Gore. A nice block from Upati. Works his way into the grasp in the secondary of Ryan Clark. It is a gain of 4, and he's out to the 9.
This is one of the keys today for the 49ers. They've got to pound the Redskins into submission with their running game. The 49ers are most effective when they can lean on you in the running game. That's where a lot of the big plays then come off of with the play action. But it's only when they have success on the early downs running the football.
It's 2nd down and 6.
Change.
Carlos Hyde. And he's brought down by the rookie out of Stanford, Trent Murphy. It's a gain of 3, and he's up to the 11. So Colin Kaepernick, as we welcome in our new audience, has done a 30-yard touchdown pass on the Niners' first possession to Anquan Bolden. Couple punts on 2 possessions for the Skins, who come in 3 and 7. Niners 6 and 4. 3rd and a long 3. Hyde remains in the game.
Ricky.
Blocked by Staley into Crabtree, breaks a tackle and gets the 1st down. Brought down by Clark. He got by Biggers. He's out to the 21. Picks up 10. 1st and 10, San Francisco.
Watch Perry Riley come flying out of there. He's going to literally run into the corner Biggers and knock him off the tackle. Anquan Bolden. I love those Bolden and Crabtree, big receivers that can run those slant routes.
Short little patterns, too. The number 3 in time of possession, this Niner offense.
Yeah, they're doing a good job, Kevin.
Kill! Hurry! Stop!
It's a 1st and 10. And it's Gore. He was hit by Merriweather and also by Riley. He's out to the 24 on a gain of 3.
We talked about Frank Gore earlier. Over 10,000 rushing yards with one team. He's still extremely productive. You think about Frank Gore, you think about tough and durable and a determined runner. And then when he needs a blow, they bring in Carlos Hyde, another guy that can run up inside with power.
Hyde, a 2nd-round pick out of Ohio State, and they like him. 2nd and 7.
Here it come.
Into the pistol. Outside, wide open is Miller. Good change of play, and here he goes up the sideline. Hit by the rookie Breland, knocked out by Merriweather. And Bruce Miller takes it up to the 44 on 2nd and 7, picks up 20, another 1st down.
What happens is you get so caught up with the tight end that you never feel the fullback in the flat. He outflanks the corner. Just too easy for Colin Kaepernick and Bruce Miller.
How about Jim Haslett as the defensive play caller?
He's a good one, Kevin. He's done a lot with some injuries. He's got some young players playing in the secondary, particularly the cornerback position, where he spends a lot of his time is on 3rd down.
1st and 10 here. Kaepernick with the good footwork, being chased by Murphy, by Robinson, and by Riley. And he throws incomplete, looking downfield for his receiver, Brandon Lloyd. He was covered by Merriweather. It'll be a 2nd down. Get the fastest football scores and updates with the CBS Sports app, the fastest app for sports fans.
You see Kaepernick, he's going to get outside the pocket. Now you look downfield. You tell me where he's supposed to throw it. Can't throw it there, can't throw it there. They're all covered down the field.
2nd down and 10. Stevie Johnson will be atop your screen. Oh, they fumbled, and Rich, this has been an issue as it is jumped on by Kaepernick. The quarterback-center exchange you've picked up and watching the last couple games has been an issue for the Niners.
Well, you got a rookie in there, Marcus Martin. He wasn't your starter to begin the season, and they've had some of these, Kevin. This one looks like it just goes off the left side. And again, they've had problems not just from under center, but also in the gun. See, and one of the issues is Martin's got to pull to his left. And when you do that, you have a tendency to bring the ball with you and miss the quarterback.
You tell your center that, I take it?
I always say stay with me when you've got a jump or a scoop block. We've got some
Stay
confusion
with me.
here.
I like that. It'll be 3rd and 12, and Redskins will watch San Francisco take their first timeout. 3:58 in the first. After a San Francisco timeout, they've got it 3rd and 12. Well, look at what Haslett and his defense does on 3rd down.
Yeah, this is where a lot of the pressures and the exotic looks show up, and this is where Jim Haslett spends a lot of his times. He varies looks, he changes them up from week to week. Can get confusing for a young quarterback.
And from the 42 of the Niners, 3rd and 12. Good time. Poor throw. Or poor route, one or the other. It was out of the reach of Bolton. The coverage on the play by Trenton Robinson, who's a former 49er. It's 4th down. They got a punt.
Well, pretty good coverage. They're just playing some man technique, and Kaepernick actually started to his right side, was late coming back to his left.
One of the best in the business, Andy Lee, will punt for the first time. Roberts is back and fields it at the 11. Under a 4-second hang time right there, and he stiff arms his way into the grasp of Dahl. He goes out of bounds at the 15. Flag has been thrown on a 7-yard Roberts return, 47-yard punt. Roberts they were going to have as the number 3 receiver. Then they signed Deshaun Jackson, who was released by Philadelphia. So now Roberts sees more time as a return man and in multiple receiver formations. Walt Anderson.
Personal foul, grabbing and turning the face mask, number 12 of the receiving team. That's half the distance to the goal. It'll be 1st down. Washington, timeout.
Redskins are the 2nd most penalized special teams in the NFL. Another look at RG3 and 3:45 in the first.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Bose, official sound of the NFL. And by Verizon XLTE on America's largest, most reliable 4G LTE network.
Little stroll through the Niner Hall of Fame. After a Niner punt, here's a 1st and 10 pitch out, and it goes to Morris, and he breaks free again. He got by the defensive back's Cox. He was hit by Bethea, rumbles for 16, out to the Washington 24.
You look at the fullback, he's going to go up inside, and then they're just going to toss the ball to Morris. Nice block by the fullback, and again, this is what they need. They need to be able to run the ball with some consistency on the early downs.
Morris had a season-high 96 yards on the ground last week against Tampa Bay. In this Redskin team lost, and there is a quick handoff and a 2-yard pickup right there, and it goes to Morris, and he's up to the 26. Get the fastest football scores and updates with the CBS Sports app, the fastest app for sports fans. Download the CBS Sports app now. We have 2 very durable running backs in this league that are there all the time. On one side, Gore, and here's Morris for the Redskins.
And they're kind of throwbacks, Kevin. They seem to get stronger as the game goes on.
2nd down and 8. Halou to Garcon, who throws long, and they've got Jackson in his sights, and the ball is errant. It's an incomplete pass. Cox was defending. Reed is back in after hobbling off the last series. He was covering on the play as well.
Look at that run. They're just going to toss the ball to Roy Halou. He's going to flip it to Pierre Garcon, who's got a big-time arm. We've seen him throw in practice before. But, again, 2 deep coverage. You see Reed over the top. And Cox knows he has help, so he's in a trail technique. This ball actually lands out of bounds.
Jackson gets a lot of attention, doesn't he?
He's got top-line speed that does get your attention back there in the secondary.
Halou remains 3rd and 8. Griffin down. McDonald. He is sacked for a 2nd time today. Sacked back at the 18. Loss of 8. And the Skins have got a punt again.
Well, just keep an eye on McDonald. He's right there in the middle of your screen, and just stays after it. He just continues, and that's the That's when you know you've got a good pass rush. A good pass rush is where you get speed off the edge, but you also have push up the middle.
Ray McDonald gets a second sack for a second consecutive week. Second for the season for him, as they have thrown a flag, and there was a penalty on Washington. McDonald a sack last week and a forced fumble against the Giants.
Kevin, another special teams penalty on the Redskins. They've got 20 special teams penalties and 2 today.
5-yard penalty, still 4th down.
Well, the good teams, the teams that are contending, usually bypass that area.
Well, that's what's killing them right now. You look at just overall penalties for the Redskins. 9 last week, including 4 false starts on offense, 3 by wide receivers. They had an illegal formation. It's tough when you can't get lined up.
Tressway will punt. With terrific hang time, and Parrish Cox out of bounds about the 45-yard line. Knocked out on the play by Brown. Colin Kaepernick ready to go. Back in Santa Clara, people affected by severe weather and other disasters need help now. To support those impacted by disasters like the winter storms in Buffalo and countless other crises, text Red Cross to 90999 to give $10 to American Red Cross Disaster Relief. CBS cares. From the 46, after a 4-play possession and punt by the Redskins, who have had it 3 times and punted all 3 times. First and 10, San Francisco. With the inverted wishbone. Look out, here comes Cofield. There goes Riley, and Kaepernick eludes both and works his way for a gain of a couple. He's up to the 47 on a gain of 1 to Scott Camplin on our sideline.
Kevin, injury update from the Washington sideline. Reserve cornerback E.J. Biggers, a 6th-year man out of Western Michigan, was taken to the locker room. He's being evaluated with concussion protocol. His return is listed currently at questionable.
They can't afford to lose any more corners. They're without David Amerson, E.J. Biggers now, Tracy Porter still coming back from a hamstring. He's not quite 100%.
It's a 2nd down and 9 for Kaepernick on the draw play, and it goes to Gore. Plows his way into Hatcher. He's out to the 49, and he picks up a couple on the play. Frank Gore, at 31 years of age, is zeroing in on another 1,000-yard season, and today he could pass Ricky Watters for number 21 all-time rushing in the history of pro football.
It was really fun talking to Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator, on Friday. He described him as old school tough, and it's about pride with him as much as anything. He doesn't want to go down. He is a tough tackle.
10th-year player out of Miami, 3rd down and 7.
5-2, 5-31.
Into the nickel, Kaepernick. Blitz is on from Herriweather. Pass is caught by Bolden. Has the first down. Brought down by Robinson and the secretary. Gain of 9 on the play. And he's got it to the 41-yard line. That's the end of the quarter with a touchdown pass of 30 yards to Anquan Bolden. And the Niners, coming in at 6-4, have got the lead on CBS.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by FedEx One Rate. Simple flat rate shipping with the reliability of FedEx. And by new Amazon Fire TV Stick, the most powerful streaming stick.
Some of the numbers through 15 minutes of football here with the 7-0 San Francisco lead on a 30-yard touchdown pass by Colin Kaepernick.
Not very impressive for the Redskins offensively, Kevin. They're struggling. 49ers done a nice job running the football, mixing it in, of course, getting to some play-action shots down the field with Colin Kaepernick.
And fumble by Hyde. And recovered by Washington at the 40-yard line. This has been a defense picked up by former Steeler Ryan Clark. They don't have many takeaways. In fact, one of the worst in getting the ball back. But they do that time from the rookie's fumble, Carlos Hyde. Timeout. Brandon Merriweather just forced his third fumble of this season for the Redskin defense.
This is an area, Kevin, where they've really struggled, a lack of turnovers. They haven't been able to take the ball away with any consistency, just 9 takeaways in their first 10 games.
Ryan Clark got it on the 40-yard line, 1st and 10. Morris, Darrell Young trying to lead the way. He cuts inside. He's brought down by Borland. It's a loss of 1. Back to the 39.
Well, let's go back and take a look at it. This is what you call 8-man football, and they don't have the safety accounted for, and that's Merriweather. And the back, Carlos Hyde, he never feels them in the hole. Does a good job ripping and stripping and getting that ball out.
Now, is that a Kaepernick responsibility? Has he got to call that guy out, or how does that work?
Yeah, he's got to either get out of the play, which is probably the best case scenario there, Kevin. You're one short. You've got no one to account for the strong safety.
With the 2nd and 11 following Young. There he goes again. Justin Smith riding him down about the 42. On a gain of 4 on the play. This Justin Smith is about as continuous as anybody you'll find on the line. Always there, very tough.
He does a lot of the dirty work inside that nobody wants to. He's got a nonstop motor. Doesn't take plays off. He plays with great effort every snap.
I mentioned that Pro Football Focus has him rated as the highest rated defensive player for San Francisco.
That leads that defense with 39 pressures and 26 hits on the quarterback.
RG3 has a 3rd and 7. Way over Garcon's head. I don't know if he didn't take the proper drop back. There was coverage on the play. It is incomplete. It's 3 and out, and they can do nothing with the fumble recovery.
He's a hard guy to figure out right now, Kevin. He's making the easy throws look difficult.
And he's not following through.
No, he's not. You don't get the sense that he really trusts the protection up front. And he's not in rhythm.
What about that guy? Colt McCoy. A lot of talk about him. Here is a Tress-way punt. And a fair catch is signaled for. Landing at the 11, bouncing to the 4, and retrieved on the play by the Redskins' Greg Dupre. 52-yard punt. Terrific end time. Kaepernick on deck again for the Niners.
Look at the struggles right there for the Redskins. First 4 drives, 15 plays, just 31 yards. We talk about 3 and outs. They are demoralizing to an offense.
On the 5-yard line, Kaepernick with a 1st and 10. Feed it back and moving up to the 5 line of scrimmage. Keenan Robinson brings him down. Gain of a yard on the play. As you take a look at Kaepernick, who's always got that fragile, very thin line to decide. Do I play outside the pocket? When to run? When to stick? I mean, there's a lot there on his mind.
There's always a delicate balance, when you talk about when to run. You don't want to discourage him. It's a big part of his game right now. And I think the bottom line, Kevin, you have to trust your instincts at that position.
It's a 2nd down and 9. Gore. A little move there to his right. Only brought down on the play by Riley. It is a gain of 8 on 2nd and 9 for Frank Gore.
Really nice job. He's going to start play side, and then he's actually going to wind it all the way back. You see them cut off the backside. Vernon Davis gets a good block. He pushes the outside linebacker past the hole. It's given the back vision to that backside cutback.
Gore had 95 yards on the ground last week in the Meadowlands against the Giants. 3rd and 1. Gore again. Submarines his way, and Keenan Robinson was there. Also a nice little hit from Everett Brown. He gets to the 15 and very close to that 1st down.
This reminds me of Marcus Allen. There's not a lot of negative runs when you study Frank Gore, and he always seems to know where that 1st down marker is, although he came up just...
They're going to punt.
Yeah, just about a half-yard short.
3 and out for San Francisco. So after getting a 30-yard touchdown pass to Bolden on their first possession, and they're very good on their first possessions. Punt, fumble, and now 3 and out right here. Punt coming from Andy Lee. Roberts, fair caught. Back at the 38-yard line. 47-yard punt. Robert Griffin III looking for some divine intervention here. Down 7-zip. I know a coaching staff is always looking, Rich, for a comfort level on what they can give their quarterback What their comfort levels like for the Redskins right now.
I think Jay Gruden's trying to structure a game plan around what RG3 is comfortable with and what he does well. Just not so sure they know.
It's a 1st and 10. Morris quickly met outside by Reed. The gain to the 44. He picks up 5 on the play. And Scott Kaplan is on our sideline this afternoon.
Well, Kevin, to Rich's point about trying to find a comfort zone for RG3, he spent the last series sitting on the bench going through plays on the tablet with Colt McCoy, talking to Deshaun Jackson about things he'd like to try and get done, and then goes to the offensive lineman, slapping those guys on the hand and the head, trying to get them hyped up and ready to come back onto the field.
2nd down and 5. Draw play, Morris. And down he goes with no gain on the play. Is it a simplified offense? Has it gone backwards, Rich, in terms of the volume and the different angles of the offense?
I don't think so, Kevin. I think they are who they are. They're a zone run team. They run the boots, the play action shots, the runs out of shotgun, the wide receiver screens. They have it all. But, you just look at the quarterback right now. Just in visiting with Jay Gruden, he says, there's too much indecision in his game right now. He's not comfortable. I think struggles are new to him because he had so much success, not only in college, but his first year in the league.
Silas Red is in 3rd and 5 for Griffin. One-handed grab, 1st down, right in front of Cox by Roberts at the 50. Pickup of 6. That was timed well. 1st down throw, move the chains for Washington.
Yeah, really nice job here. Getting the ball out quick. They're bringing these 5- and 6-man pressures. Good one-handed grab by Andre Roberts.
Good catch by Roberts. Sometimes people don't really realize how much a quarterback, once he breaks the huddle, has to take in just a matter of seconds.
Yeah, he's got to process a lot of information, Kevin. You're right, in a short period of time. The front, the coverage, the situation, the checks, the audibles.
It's a 1st and 10. Blocked by Colson. Downfield, good catch, Garcon, and there he goes. And he's knocked out of bounds by Culliver about the 25 of San Francisco. It is a catch and run of 24 and a 1st down for Washington.
Well, they do a nice job selling the action, and then you're just going to see the receiver come across the field. And when he is decisive, like this example right here, he can be very accurate in the pocket. The ball comes out on time. That's the key right now with RG3.
And on the receiving side, Garcon has become kind of an afterthought.
He's quiet when you consider the numbers he put up, Kevin, a season ago.
113 receptions. You're right. On 1st and 10, it goes off to Morris, and he works his way to about the 23-yard line. We're talking about a guy in Garcon who had 113 receptions last year to lead the NFL. That was only his 44th reception. We're deep into the season.
Well, I think he's frustrated. I think a lot of players that are frustrated right now. They've had changes to quarterback position because of the injuries to RG3. Cousins came in. He struggled a little bit. He had to go to Colt McCoy. That certainly affects the timing and the rhythm in the passing game for these receivers.
2nd and 8. That's the tight end, Niles Paul. Head-to-head with Buffet inside the 15 to the 13-yard line. It's a pickup of 9 on 2nd and 8. Another Washington 1st down.
And this is really where RG3 is at his best. Outside the pocket, on the move, where he's most comfortable. And I think you sell the action away. You see the tight end, he slides. It's not there initially. Does a nice job working through his progressions. Very patient with his eyes before he comes back to Niles Paul.
On the 13-yard line of San Francisco. The pitch to Morris, blocked by Colson and Young, and he breaks free and down to the touchdown. I believe, nope, one took it back on the near side. He gets to the 11-yard pickup. It'll be 1st and goal with a great second effort by Alfred Morris.
Well, go ahead and run it. You're going to see a missed tackle in the hole. His toss play has been very effective. Freeze it right there. You can see Colbert. He's the guy that's got the shot. He's got to be able to make this stop in the hole. He goes low, but Alfred Morris goes low as well. Good effort, good finish by the back.
1st and goal at the 1. Terrell Young. And he's just shy of the goal line. All kinds of defenses up there. Will Hoyt got a hand on him. Ahmad Brooks was there. It'll be second and goal at the 1.
Well, that's a good shot right there down the line. You see the penetration. Penetration in this part of the field is a killer. You see them covering up the center and the guards. Great push up inside by that 49ers front.
Second goal at the 1. Big plays, 24-yard catch and run Garcon, 11-yard run by Alfred Morris. Young again. That time it was Tony Girardetti out of Texas A&M helping plug the gap. There is no gain on the play. As they stuff him inside, they're even bringing in an extra offensive lineman in Columbus on the near side.
There must be something that they saw on their film breakdown of this 49ers defense down the red zone that they felt they could run the fullback right up the gut. That's twice now, back-to-back plays they've gotten stuffed.
Columbus remains in the game as an extra offensive lineman to the right side, the near side. 10th play of the drive, 3rd and goal. Morris, and that is a touchdown. Now they raise their arms with certainty. Last time they hesitated, it looked like he was raising, then he quickly pulled him back, but that is a 1-yard touchdown run by Alfred Morris.
Yeah, this time now, instead of handing it to the fullback, they have the fullback lead. You see Alfred Morris. They ran it 3 straight times. You have to wonder, Kevin, if they weren't going to go for it on 4th down. Sometimes you can run the ball there knowing that you got another shot on 4th down. You can be aggressive like that when you are a 3-7 football team.
Morris has his 7th rushing touchdown of the season. It was a 10-play drive. And again, Morris had an 11-yard run. Paul had a 9-yard catch. Garcon had a catch and run of 24. 1-yard touchdown run. And they are now, of course, as they do with every scoring play, review. Look at it again. Rich, with offensive problems, I guess that running game becomes a pretty good crutch, doesn't it? Something at least to even stabilize the offense.
Absolutely. And part of the running game, Kevin, is RG3.
It is a big part. That ties the game at 7. This score will surprise some around the country. 5.5 to play in the half. Alfred Morris with a pounding move inside for 6.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Macy's, Cialis, and by the new comedy Horrible Bosses 2, in theaters November 26th.
The looking drive engineered by Robert Griffin III. As you take a look at Morris, who had the 1-yard touchdown run, capping a long drive for the Washington Redskins.
Yeah, he tied up, Kevin, and that was important. 10 plays, 61 yards. Robert Griffin III, 4 of 4 on that drive. Good to get him going.
You thought that Griffin had to have a smooth start. It was a little rough to begin things, as that graphic show, but he found some footing on that, his 5th possession. This is Carlos Hyde, who is brought down with reserve linebacker Akeem Davis. 24-yard return. There's a flag on the play. With Walt Anderson, 5 different members of this crew have worked the Super Bowl.
Holding, number 63, receiving team. Half the distance to the goal. Be 1st down, San Francisco. Timeout.
Defensive line, Tony Girardetti. More conversation on that sideline. Griffin leads a charge. They're tied at 7. With NFL Mobile, stream live local Sunday afternoon primetime games and NFL Red Zone right on your smartphone. Learn more at NFL.com/mobile. Niners, 3rd start inside their 10 today from the 7, 1st and 10. Good block by Martin, the right tackle. On the cross, they got Crabtree. Hit on the play by Ryan Clark. Close to a 1st down. Mark him out of bounds at about the 16. There's not been a lot of Vernon Davis today. There's not been a lot of Vernon Davis, in fact, this season. He only has 18 catches, and on the cross we see a Crabtree catch for 9.
It's been a quiet season, Kevin, and a frustrating one for Vernon Davis. Just 18 receptions and 2 touchdowns.
Former Maryland Terrapin. Second in the yard. And they send Gore up there, and he works his way to the 19, picks up 3 on the play. While we have a chance, let's take you to New York and James Brown.
Manning to Thomas.
Peyton Manning is going to find Demaryius Thomas for the 5-yard touchdown reception. Peyton Manning has thrown a touchdown pass now in 50 consecutive games. Miami up 14-10.
All right, back to Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon, and Scott Kaplan.
That Denver team going through some injury issues right now.
They've lost 2 of their last 3. But they're a different team at home. Numbers certainly bear that out. You see Kaepernick change the play here at the line of scrimmage.
1st and 10. On the screws. Caught by Bolden. Right in front of defensive back and a rookie, Breland. He's out to the 28 and picks up 9.
A lot of throws on the early down, and you might ask yourself why. There's been so many heavy fronts. Look at all the defenders. Look at all the defenders in the box. So Kaepernick's a smart guy. He's not going to try and force the run when he knows he has one-on-one coverage on the outside.
Monday.
2nd and 1. Kaepernick again on the move. Brought down by Robinson up to the 33. Picks up 5. Rich, does the ability to scramble, you think, slow a quarterback's development as a pocket passer?
It can, Kevin. I think that's a great question you bring up. I mean, there's been so much talk about Kaepernick and his ability to run around. At times, what happens with young quarterbacks is that your initial instinct is to pull the ball down and run. When it looks cloudy, that initial receiver's not open. It takes time. It takes some maturity to be able to sit in there with great comfort and work through those progressions.
Well, we got a couple of runners today. Griffin on one side, Kaepernick on the other. It is a 1st down. Gore can't get by Murphy. He's a nice-looking rookie playing with a torn PCL. It is a loss of 3. He's back to the 29-yard line. And coming up in the Verizon Halftime Report, join JB, Tony, Bart, Boomer, and Coach Cowher for the latest NFL scores, highlights, news, and first-half analysis. That's all coming up in the Verizon Halftime Report from our CBS studios in New York. Jim Murphy, who is playing with a partially torn PCL, but out there, he's replacing Brian Arapko, who is injured. Arapko is out on IR. 2nd and 13 for Kaepernick. Miller. And he's out to the 42. Brought down in the secondary of the Redskins, very close to a 1st down. We've reached the 2-minute warning in Santa Clara. Thanksgiving Day, right next to the turkey and stuffing and pumpkin pie. There's the Bears and Lions in a Motown throwdown. It all begins with JB, Tony, Bart, Coach, and Boomer on a special holiday edition of the NFL Today at noon Eastern, right here on CBS Sports. Detroit always hosting that Thanksgiving game, and of course, it's a big game in the NFC North. Right here, CBS, 3rd and 1. 2-minute warning. We tried a submarine with Kaepernick picking up 2 yards on the play. It's always interesting, the battle of quarterback and defensive coordinator, how they view each other, how they study each other.
Well, you look at Jim Haslett there. All defensive coordinators, Kevin, are scared of quarterbacks that can run. And I think you've got to be very disciplined and coordinated with your pass rush when you play against a kid like Kaepernick.
It's a 1st and 10. They go to Crabtree. Coverage by Porter. Incomplete on that 8th play of the drive. Rich, since the 30-yard touchdown pass to Bolden on their first possession, punt, fumble, punt, and here they are moving again, beginning this drive at their own 7.
Well, I think you look at it and say, well, they're struggling a little bit. You also look on the other side of it, Kevin. I think the Redskins have really tightened up the screws a little bit here defensively. A good job setting the edge and forcing Kaepernick to step back up inside.
He's got a 2nd down and 10 right now. Oh, he's grabbed by Kerrigan and brought down and sacked on the play back at the 40-yard line. Kerrigan throws him for a 4-yard loss. Kerrigan's 8th sack of the season.
Well, you see Ryan Kerrigan. He's their best pass rusher. There's no question about that.
You know, Kerrigan came in that 2011 draft. Here's some other great pass rushers as you see Kerrigan bring down Kaepernick. J.J. Watt, Von Miller, Alden Smith, Robert Quinn, Justin Houston of Kansas City. That was a very good draft. 2011, including Kerrigan.
Take any of them.
Oh my goodness. Headliners in that sack department. 3rd and 14 here for Kaepernick. Martin pushed right back, and Kaepernick wisely moves in the middle. And he's got his receiver with a big hit from Clark. It was grabbed on the play by Vernon Davis. Boy, we don't hear him a whole lot. 12-yard gain, 4th and 2 for San Francisco. On a 12-yard for Davis, only his 19th reception of the season.
Yeah, there's a problem here. You've got some timeouts and you're not taking them. A little unsure what to do in this situation. You can see Jim Harbaugh. They're just going to run this thing out. They're going to take a timeout and punt the football.
Another timeout taken by the Niners. They've got 1 remaining with 11 seconds to play in the first half.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Jaguar. See the new model year lineup at JaguarUSA.com. And by Zales. Give her dazzling gifts from Zales, the Diamond Store. Let love shine.
All right, coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report from our studios in New York. JB and Company, scores, news, highlights, analysis, all coming up on the Verizon Halftime Report. You were talking before, after they got that play, some indecision on the part of Harbaugh and the quarterback and what the offense was going to do.
Clearly some indecision in terms of what they're going to do, Kevin. I'd be very, very surprised in this situation with 11 seconds left and no timeouts if they snap the ball. You can see no snap, no play. Redskins have all 3 timeouts. You don't want to give them the ball back.
Even lucky 34.
They got a 4th and 2 right here. 1 timeout. Taking over at their 11th play of the drive. Kaepernick looking on the rookie, and it was caught, but was he? Yes, he was! Crabtree makes the grab at the 21-yard line, working on the rookie Bashad Breeland out of Clemson. 25-yard pickup.
Well, I think he gets both feet in bounds, too. You're going to see certainly the left foot comes down. I think he's able to toe tap the right foot. Now, whether or not that ball is moving, he gets so caught up in watching the feet that we don't see whether or not he controls the football as he goes down to the ground. If that's moving around at all, it'll be the Redskins' ball around midfield.
Remember now, under 2 minutes, it's not a challenge by a coach. It's an automatic review, and so we'll see here if Dawson will follow through on his kick. It's a 41-yard field goal try by Phil Dawson. And that is perfect. And that gives San Francisco the lead going to halftime. A 41-yard field goal. Robert Griffin moved his team the last time they had it. Redskins have lost 2 straight. The Niners have won 2 consecutive games. Our Scott Kaplan standing by with the Redskin head coach, Jay Gruden.
Well, Coach, it was a slow start, but through the running game and through moving RG3 outside of the pocket and keeping him on the move, you guys were able to do some things. What will you do in the second half to try and get more offensive production?
Same thing. You know, we got to stay out of 3rd down and 8, 3rd down and 9s for us to have a chance and stay positive down and just stay ahead of the chains and do the best we can.
And you're happy with his first half production?
You know, we're down to 7. I'm not happy with anybody's production right now, but I like the way he came back in the last drive and got us a touchdown. So moving forward to the second half, I think some positive things are happening.
All right, Coach, thank you and good luck. Kevin, back to you.
All right, Scott, thank you. A 1-yard touchdown run by Morris. A 30-yard touchdown pass to Bolden. We're at halftime in Santa Clara. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Phil Dawson's 41-yard field goal, the difference. The Niners on top of Washington, 10-7. We're going to start the third here in just a second. Kevin Harlan alongside Rich Gannon. You've noticed something similar that both teams are doing this afternoon.
Yeah, both defenses, Kevin, are really crowding the line of scrimmage, playing 8-man front, bringing the extra safety down, and really daring these young quarterbacks to throw the football. San Francisco's had a lot more success throwing the football in the first half. Both teams, though, struggling running the ball. Not surprised to see that in the early downs.
Exactly. Let's take a look now at some of the numbers with a look at Robert Griffin III, who was so much the focus going into this game from a Redskin perspective.
Yeah, you look at that, just neither team's had success running the football, but what the 49ers have done a good job of is throw the football on the early downs, and they've thrown the majority of those 151 yards have been shots from Colin Kaepernick to Anquan Bolden and to Crabtree down the field on first down. If they're going to continue to play 8-man front football, you've got to be able to throw it on the early downs.
You may recall the Niners won the toss. They deferred, so San Francisco will retrieve the kickoff to begin the second half. I couldn't tell on the going out of the first half comments of Jay Gruden if he was all that enamored with Robert Griffin.
Well, I don't think he was pleased with the start, Kevin. The first couple series, actually the first 4 series, 4 straight punts. But after that, he seemed to settle in. That one possession, 10 plays, 61 yards, where he was 4-4. That kind of got him going. It kind of got his confidence. Felt like seemed to me he was more in rhythm throwing the football.
San Francisco 6-4, 1-2 straight after losing 2 in a row. The kickoff, and Carlos Hyde. He'll bring it out for the Niners. Hit by Merriweather and ushered out of bounds. Near the 25, 27-yard return, Scott Kaplan, who's on our sideline.
Kevin, I walked from the locker room with a very intense Jim Harbaugh to the field. He said this first possession is critical. His team plans to go for the knockout punch here in the third quarter. He said defensively they've got to keep putting pressure on RG3, and they've got to create turnovers, Kevin.
So far, we've had 1 turnover in this game. It was a fumble. Hyde, Merriweather knocked it away. And Kaepernick will begin with his offense from the 25, first down and 10.
Whoa! Shot! Red Eddie! Red! Kill!
He's going to throw it here.
Hurry!
Kill is he's going to change the play, correct?
Well, he doesn't.
Here's a handoff. Give it to Gore, and he slithers up to about the 27-yard line. Hit on the play by Merriweather. Gain of 2, we'll call it. San Francisco's offensive coordinator is Greg Roman, and he obviously knows the strengths of his quarterback.
Yeah, you look at that 1 second-half touchdown, Kevin. Second half has been a struggle for the 49ers offense. Just 63 second-half points, which is the fewest, and even more of a concern are the issues late in games in the fourth quarter. Just 26 fourth quarter points, which is the fewest in football as well.
With a 2nd and 7. Now he'll go to the air and looking deep, and it is picked off, dropped. Clark will come the other way, but it looked like the defense of Breland was well positioned as they went for Stevie Johnson, the former Buffalo Bill.
This is a terrific play by Breland. He just out-jumped Stevie Johnson. He's just not able to quite hold on to it as he goes to the ground. That's a terrific job by Stevie Johnson.
It was, you're right.
Watch Stevie Johnson at the end here. He's still fighting for it. It's on the stomach. Well, then it comes out. But it's a good effort by Stevie Johnson, making sure that if he doesn't get it, nobody gets it.
Got to play some defensive back sometimes if you're a receiver. 3rd and 7.
Run!
Gore trying to block out Robinson, does enough, and off balance with the falling tight end Davis. It's incomplete from Kaepernick, and Clark was there in the vicinity, and it's a 3 and out, and the Skins hold with Jim Haslett doing a nice job defensively there. 3 and out for San Francisco.
Well, that's what you want, right? Nice start there by Jim Haslett and his unit. They've actually been playing pretty well, Kevin. You hold the 49ers to 10 first-half points.
San Francisco averages about 21 points a game. Andy Lee with the punt. Terrific hang time. Back at the 14. Hang time of 4-7. And returned by Roberts out near the 21. Hit on the play by Kasim Osgood, a very good special teams player. Griffin is on deck for the Skins. Well, Griffin will try to take that end of first half drive, which resulted in a 1-yard touchdown run by Morris, and to begin the second half here.
Yeah, he really settled in, Kevin, in the second quarter and played much better football.
Morris on 1st and 10. Oh, and he finds a great hole. There was a block by Compton which sealed it. He's brought down by Reed. And it's a gain of 31 to the 48 of San Francisco.
Well, they've had a lot of success with this lead and then the back off the toss. And you come right back to it. They ran this a number of times, both to the right and to the left in the first half. And I just think Alfred Morris is a much better back in the eye as opposed to offset in the gun.
Longest run this season by the Skins. First and 10. And that is incomplete to Young. The coverage by the secondary player, Antoine Bethea, and the pressure up the middle coming from Ahmad Brooks.
Well, you're going to see the action away. And just watch the tight end sneak out. That's where the ball has to go. And for some reason, go ahead and freeze it. He is wide open right here. Just go ahead and throw him the football. Get it up earlier. If you wait, you're late and you pass up a big play.
Is it a confidence issue in what his eyes are telling him?
Yeah, sometimes, Kevin, you don't know what happens. And sometimes the game speeds up for him and he misses reads.
Morris brought down by Brooks on that second down and 10. Moves the pile to the 44. He picks up 4 on the play.
And that's one of the things that Jay Gruden has talked a lot about this week. The game speeds up, and sometimes RG3 resorts back to some old habits. And, he looks good in practice. You get out to the game speed much different. He got away with some things early in his career, but not so much anymore. Defenses are doing a much better job setting the edge and forcing him to step up and function in the pocket.
As he hands all day, Dante Johnson is coming as an extra defensive back for the Niners. 3rd down and 6. Hit from behind. Aldon Smith. The sack back at the 48. Aldon Smith is brought down. 3rd sack, loss of 6. Skins will punt.
Yeah, without Trent Williams, I mean, you have to be able to help the rookie at left tackle. And Moses, he just gets beat right around the edge. Morgan Moses late with his hands, and Aldon Smith is a handful for any tackle.
Aldon Smith has played less than 2 games. He already has 2 sacks. One last half. First series by the Redskins, and the punt here by Wade. And that player comes down wrong on his foot. You saw that right there with that leap was Adam Hayward. Came down wrong. And
we've seen this a couple times this year, Kevin, with players celebrating after a sack.
I think he's just coming down.
No, I know he's not celebrating, but I'm saying it's a similar situation where you see a player leap up for the ball and come down awkwardly on that knee.
How about Lamar Houston?
During the kick,
was celebrating.
Illegal hands to the
Chicago.
face, number 96, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the end of the kick. It'll be 1st down. Timeout.
All right, so we'll step aside. They look at the injured player, Hayward.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Southwest Airlines. Book your low fare now at southwest.com. Pizza Hut. We're taking pizza where it's never been before. And by Toyota Care. Scheduled maintenance, no cost.
Look at the great Jerry Rice in the background. The catch by Dwight Clark in the DeBartolo Hall of Fame. They are looking at Adam Hayward, who signed this year as a free agent from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. After a punt, 1st and 10, San Francisco. Kaepernick. There's Vernon Davis. Couple try to bring him down, and he works his way with a Robinson tackle. A 16-yard pickup. Flag is down at the 15-yard line, near side. That could be wiped out. The game was to about the 26.
Ineligible player, number 75 of the offense, downfield prior to the pass. 5-yard penalty, still 1st down.
That's Alex Boone. Vernon Davis, who's from Washington, D.C. and played at Maryland, as we mentioned before, has been the target a couple times a day. Held out all offseason, hoping for a contract extension, which never came. But we have not seen his fingerprints on this offense this year like we have with his 13 touchdown catches a year ago.
Yeah, really, just 18 receptions. Kevin, he's been very quiet. He was battling an injury earlier in the season, but it's not been the case. He's been healthy, just Not a lot of catches.
A lot of weapons. 1st and 15. Gore runs into Miller. Then he was tackled on the play by Trent Murphy. No gain. A look at the numbers Davis last to this season.
Yeah, look at the touchdowns. I mean, that's the thing that really gets your attention. And, of course, the explosive plays, just one catch of 25 yards or more. You know, the other one, Kevin, he's only been thrown to one time in the red zone all season, and that one went for a touchdown, and it was the first game of the season.
It was, that's right. Tracy Porter is down in the secondary for the Redskins. Told you earlier on he was inactive for 6 of the first 7 games. Back today replacing David Amerson, who has been basically a starter all season. 10:53 in the third. Another player down for the Redskins. There is Porter walking off under his own power, which is always a good sign, but he's the second defensive back to leave today for the Redskins. And now Greg Ducray, who is a rookie out of Washington, who was signed off the San Diego practice squad in early October. He's been inactive the last 3 games. Emerson's inactive today, who's been starting. 2nd and 15.
You got to go right after him, Kevin. You got a rookie in there, take a shot. There they go.
Kaepernick looking on Ducray. Good call, Rich. You're on that one. It goes off to Bruce Miller. Gain of 8 on 2nd and 15, and he moves the ball up to the 12.
That's good coaching. I mean, you got a rookie that comes in. He's an inexperienced guy and playing very soft in coverage. What does he just doesn't want anyone to run by him early in this game.
Well, holding on for dear life almost, huh? 3rd down and 7.
And I'm curious to see if they help him
52.
with the safety.
DC.
If not, you go after him again.
Robinson, the extra defensive back out there for the Skins. 3rd down and 7.
There he is right there.
Kaepernick, and he's got Bolden. Knocked out of bounds by Robinson. They've got the first down up to their own 27-yard line. 14-yard pickup, and the Niners will move the chains.
They just run the out route. Good protection. This is a good offensive line. You see the fullback cross key. Look at the separation there between Bolden and the corner.
Call was by Greg Roman, the offensive coordinator for this team. Some pretty nice numbers here. 7th in rushing. It is a 1st and 10. Gore back in. They're in the pistol. Leaves up and going deep. And that is picked off by the kid who just came in, Greg Ducray. First NFL interception brought down by Davis. Big time pick. As they were going deep, he's back to the 33. And an interception thrown by Colin Kaepernick, the first in 129 consecutive pass attempts.
Well, it's a really nice job here. They try and double move Ducray, and he's in great position, Kevin, and he doesn't bite on the out move initially. See it there? And then he does a nice job recovering. A little bit of a push off there, but he puts himself in a position to make a play on the football.
They were going for Anquan Bolden. And another turnover for San Francisco. They fumbled with Carlos Hyde. It was a pick right there by Ducray, and here comes Washington at their 33 with a 1st and 10. Morris, shooting through is Borland. So quick, they lose a yard. Back to the 32, the NFC Defensive Player of the Week, with his performance and a couple of picks last week over Eli Manning in New York.
Well, there he is right there. I mean, he's just in the middle of the screen. And talk about a guy that's got a nose for a football, can sort through the traffic and make stops in the backfield.
He had not played a single defensive snap until he took Willis's place. 2nd down and 11. The hit by Cox on the receiver, Pierre Garçon. He's out to the 37, and he picks up 5. As they discuss things over there, as we said, his first in 129 throws.
Well, that's the one thing about Colin Kaepernick, even going back to the first year he played here in San Francisco. He does a good job with the decision-making, taking care of the football. Doesn't take a lot of unnecessary risk.
Boy, Deshaun Jackson's been quiet, hasn't he?
He's been really quiet.
One catch today, 3rd down and 6. Here comes McDonald. There goes a low, uncatchable throw to Roberts. Coverage by Johnson and Cox, and it's incomplete, and they can do nothing with that turnover. 3 and out.
Well, you're just going to see he gets some push-up inside. It doesn't allow him to really step up inside. He throws off his back foot because of the pressure from McDonald.
Well, this punter, Tresway, has sent his punch down near the 5 twice today. Let's see what he does now. Cox, I don't know if he lost it or not, but he gets it on a bounce at the 9, and then he is brought down on the play by Robinson. I don't know if he lost it or not. In the California skies, 55-yard punt. Tresway has done it again.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by the all-new LG G3, the world's first smartphone with laser autofocus. And by Outback Steakhouse. Outback, no rules, just right.
6 times Tresway has punted to Cox, and it looks like he misjudged that last one.
He really did. There's not a lot of left-footed punters in the league. Tresway, ball spins, that rotation, it comes down a little bit differently for these returners.
He's had 3 punts inside the 10 today for the Skins. 1st and 10, Gore. Coming into a pile. Hit on the play by Keenan Robinson. It's a gain of 3. He's up to the 11.
You're just going to see Cox. He's in position, but then the ball comes down. He just misplays it.
So it's the spin?
It's the spin and the rotation as it comes off a left-footed punter's foot. It's a lot different than the right-footed punter. And you can see.
I got it.
It's like, whoa. It gets on you a little bit differently.
2nd down and 7. Quarter's still out. Again, they work on DeCray, and there's a tackle by Riley, along with Kerrigan on Bolden at the 18 on a gain of 7.
I think all things being equal, right? You're going to go after the rookie, DeCray.
But the defense has played well. They forced 2 takeaways today, this Redskin defense is.
Well, that's what they've been able to do, Kevin. Create some momentum. You know, you have to create some takeaways and some short fields for an offense that has struggled. They've done as they've stayed in this football game because of the play of their defense.
You're talking to a coordinator the other day, and you were saying that one of his mottos was know the quarterback you're hunting. I'm sure they've been studying a lot of Kaepernick this week.
Yeah, you got to know. I mean, you got to know where he's going to be, what he's going to do. And with both of these quarterbacks today, whether it's Kaepernick or RG3, you better bring your track shoes, and you have to be very disciplined with your rush because all they need is a small crease.
And just think in practice, both these defenses see running quarterbacks.
They do. They see quarterbacks that have the ability to create big plays when things break down around them.
They get the 1st down right there. There's a 1st and 10 from the 18. Take the Gore outside. There was a block by Carrier, and they were going for Bolden, and the linebacker Robinson was out there on the perimeter covering. Tomorrow on CBS, start your week with an exciting new episode of Scorpion. See what all the people are talking about tomorrow at 9, 8 Central. Only CBS, 2nd down and 10. That's one of the things these coordinators do. Huh? They try to get inside the mind of the opposing coordinator and the quarterback, as Hanslet is trying to do with the San Francisco offense.
And the good quarterbacks, Kevin, they do what? They try and get in the mind of the defensive coordinator. Who is this guy? What does he like to do in a critical situation? I mean, you have to get to know your opponent.
2nd down and 10. That's caught by Crabtree. Belted on the play by a handful of guys, including Merriweather and Riley, and then a slow getting up. Rashad Breeland, gain of 9. They've already lost 2 defensive backs today. Biggers on a concussion, and Porter still being looked at and not back in.
Guys are knocking themselves out of this game. I mean, it's been that type of a game. It's been a very physical game. I really felt like for the Redskins to have success in this football game, they'd have to win up front. on both sides of the ball. The big men have to win the fight in the trenches because that's where San Francisco, I think, has the advantage.
They were telling you that former San Francisco quarterback Colt McCoy was conferring a little bit with Haslett, wasn't it?
Yeah, Colt McCoy spent two full days in the offseason sitting in a room with defensive coordinator Jim Haslett and talking about the history of this offense. Of course, Colt McCoy was a quarterback for the 49ers last year. He went through what all the checks were, what all the audibles were, what all the hand signals were. So he has shared that information, obviously, with this defensive football team.
Now, we just saw Porter, and he's going to the locker room. They rearranged Staley, put him on the right side this time. 3rd and 1. Kaepernick with the push and the shove. This might be the second time that was like the first, stuffed on 3rd and 1. Extra bodies were in there. Haslett is doing a nice job with this Redskin defense today.
Watch the center, Marcus Martin. Watch how high he gets after the snap. We talk about low pad level. He gets pushed right into the back, right back into Colin Kaepernick. Kaepernick has nowhere to go.
All right, the Redskins have sent back Deshaun Jackson, not Roberts, to retrieve the punt by Andy Lee. Hold on to your hat when Jackson gets a hand on it. He does with a fair catch at the 22. 4-8 on the hang. 50-yard Andy Lee punt. RG3 back out there. All right, we've just seen another punt by San Francisco in the second half. 2 punts and a pick. Morgan Moses starting today at the tackle position, a rookie.
And he's had his hands full with Aldon Smith over there.
Who wouldn't? 1st and 10 handoff. Walking the tightrope. Morris chopping away, getting out of bounds. Cox was awaiting, but the run takes him for a first down to Washington's 33, pickup of 11.
Well, you look at those numbers, very modest numbers for RG3, just 6 of 11, 59 yards. Kaepernick has had a little bit more success, especially in the first half. A lot of those big plays, Kevin, showing up on first down.
Morris is over 100 yards for the first time on the ground this season. 1st and 10. Fake to Morris. There he throws with authority. Caught by Jackson. And hold on here. Chased by Bethea. Looking for the block. Brought down by Dante Johnson. In the secondary, 31-yard reception with the catch and run. Jackson's first reception since the Redskins' first offensive play of the game.
Well, you're going to see the action, but watch the freeze that you get from these linebackers. I mean, they get mesmerized. And watch how long RG3 holds it. I mean, the linebackers are gone. Look at the opening in the middle of the field for Deshaun Jackson. Great action by the back and quarterback to freeze the linebackers.
On the Niner 35, 1st and 10. Morris brought down on that line by Tank Carradine, gain of 4 to the 31.
You know, this is a guy you got to pay attention to. You look at Morris. He's sneaky. You know, you just think not a lot's happening there, and you just start looking at the numbers, and you say he's already over 100 yards today on 15 carries.
When you hear a coach or someone say a quarterback needs confidence to see, what does he mean by that?
Well, I think part of it, Kevin, is just, you know, being comfortable in the system, being comfortable in the pocket, and really trusting the protection and your progressions.
2nd down. Oh, look out! Again, they come through, and this is another rookie, Aaron Lynch, who now has 4 sacks in the last 5 games. The rookie from South Florida throws him for a loss of 9. Big-time play by an emerging defensive player.
Well, this is a problem. You can't hold the ball. I mean, here comes the blitz. They're short. You've got a free rusher. You don't have the safety accounted for, and then you get lit up on the backside by Lynch.
Oh, but they've just thrown a flag, a delayed one, and it was Lynch coming through, helmet to helmet, leading with the helmet. And they call it on the Niner D after they had now the ball will be down at the 20.
It'll be a 15-yard penalty.
Yes. When they were going to be back at about the 40 with the sack.
You're going to see Lynch
Well, it was two.
Actually, it's both of them.
Reed and Lynch. Was that Reed? Yes, it was.
Yeah, anytime you get up around the quarterback's head, they're going to call that penalty.
Well, maybe a little shaken up, and that's why McCoy is warming up as RG3 took 2 helmets to his single. Boom. No, really, it was just Reed.
And the other thing that happens is your head snaps on the ground. A jarring sensation will make you silly.
Meanwhile, they go to the 16 now. 1st and 10. Morris, good block by Young. Good block on that line from Laval. And they take it to the 12. Morris with a gain of 4.
Well, this was a big run when you consider that the 49ers brought both safeties. You got Reed on the one side and Antoine Bethea on the other. Here's where they've struggled.
Yep.
Down in the red zone.
2nd down and 6. Morris, Young the block, Colson the block, and they come from behind and in front. Borland and Ahmad Brooks, who's not sitting on the bench this second half. It's a gain of a yard. Brooks, of course, is kind of in the eye of the storm with the conversation on the sideline that escalated. Yanked last week, complained about playing time, seeing more snaps today and into the second half.
And I think he was just frustrated, Kevin, with the role. I mean, when Alden Smith came back and cut into the snaps and the play time for Ahmad Brooks, he's been a very productive player for the 49ers for several years.
Alden Smith now comes in. He's got a couple sacks today. 3rd and 5. Kalou is in. He likes Kalou right there. But look at Reed. Read it well. At about the 10, it's a gain of 2. And in fact, they'll put him just inside the 10. So it is 4th down. They'll go for 3 and try to tie.
Well, you'll just see Kalou. He just comes out of the backfield and Reed is all over it.
It is a 27-yard field goal try by Kai Forbath. He missed 2 field goals last game from 50 and 47 against the Buccaneers. Before that, he had made 11 straight. 27-yarder for the tie. Got it. At the end of the 3rd with 31 seconds to go, the Redskins score. And RG3 lives to talk about it, although the pressure was right up the middle and in his grill. Week 12 continues with Sunday Night Football tonight at 8:30. It's on NBC, and tune in tomorrow from Monday Night Football on ESPN and Westwood One Radio. Myself and Dan Fouts will be in New Orleans tomorrow night. Also tomorrow night, because of the inclement weather in western New York, the Bills will host the Jets. They'll play at Ford Field indoors in Detroit. Tress Way's punting has been a big story here because of the bad beginning field position he has given the Niners this afternoon.
Yeah, I think it's a combination, Kevin, of some good punting and some pretty stellar defense by the Redskins that have kept them in this football game.
Here's the kickoff now by Kai Forbath at the 1. Carlos Hyde. Is right. Merriweather starts in the secondary and plays special teams. He's out there flying around. 25-yard return to the sideline, and Scott Kaplan.
Kevin, Tracy Porter, the starting cornerback for the Redskins, is still in the locker room. They took him into the X-ray room here in Levi's Stadium. Then they brought him back out onto the field and took him to the Redskins locker room. They've been looking at his right shoulder. His return is considered questionable, but he's still back in the Washington locker room. Kevin?
Good stuff, Scott. Thank you for updating us there. Look at Jay Gruden, first-year head coach after 3 years as the offensive coordinator in Cincinnati, and that's Ducray, who is taking the place of Porter. It's a 1st and 10 with Kaepernick at his 27.
Ready! Cut!
Time. Dropped. Davis. Coverage on the play by Breland. All right, let's take you to New York in JB.
Miami capitalizes on a fumbled punt.
Yes, Ryan Tannehill's doing a fine. Jarvis Landry for the 5-yard score. Miami's not going away. Denver's finding out that they're in the fight. Miami leads 28-17.
And DeMatha Grad, Cameron Wake doing his part there as well. Back to Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
Rich, what is your read on Miami this season?
They're a tough football team, Kevin. Joe Philbin's done a terrific job. You look at Jarvis Landry. They got some rookies down there that are talented players. And the quarterback, Tannehill, has played much better here the last 6 weeks.
Stabilized that position, hasn't it? 2nd down and 10 for Kaepernick. He gets Crabtree, and the sure-handed tackle made by Robinson. Gain of 5 to the 32, which takes us to the end of the 3rd. A tie game. Field goals of 27 by the Skins and 41 by the 49ers. We go to the 4th. You're watching the NFL on CBS. Telling statistic. It's been a story here in the Bay Area regarding San Francisco in the 4th. And what do you always think when you look at good teams, and what do you see?
Good teams have the ability, Kevin, to finish late in games. And the 49ers, too often this season, they've let teams hang around. Last week's a great example. They pick off Eli Manning and the Giants 5 times last week. The offense only scored once versus the NFL's 32nd ranked defense.
5 in the secondary now, including Philip Thomas, who's come in for the Redskins. It's 3rd and 6 to start the 4th. It's caught by the tight end Davis, shy of the 1st down. He's hit by the aforementioned Philip Thomas, also hit by Breland and Riley and Robinson. An avalanche of Redskin defenders. Gain of 5, shy of the 1st. They're going to punt.
And you got to ask yourself, why do you run a 5-yard route when you're trying to gain 6 yards? You're just a yard short. Go ahead and push up the extra yard.
In the second half, the Redskins punt, interception, punt, and punt. Now here comes Lee to punt for the Niners. Deep back. Deshaun Jackson waves the arm, calls for the fair catch. Osgood was down there to corral it just in case he decided to go. He'll be near the 21-yard line, 43-yard punt. Well, tomorrow on CBS, there's a mole inside NCIS Los Angeles, and no one is safe. A can't-miss new NCIS Los Angeles tomorrow at 10, 9 Central only, CBS. So if you're the Redskins and their quarterback and tied on the road in a game that people thought you'd trail a bunch by, what's your philosophy as you start at your own 20?
Well, look, Kevin, you mentioned it a while ago. It's been a quiet day for Pierre Garçon and also for Deshaun Jackson. You've got to be able to get the ball in the perimeter.
It's Morris, who's over 100 yards today on the ground with a 1st and 10 run. Wrapped up on the play outside the 25-yard line. And Wilhoit makes the stop. A gain of about 6 yards, perhaps, on the run in what has been the best running day this year so far for Morris, who will get 1,000 should he stay on this pace for the season.
I think that Redskins' offensive line has done a really nice job in the running game. Opened up a lot of nice holes for Morris.
Which they've needed to do.
Absolutely. When you've got a quarterback that's struggling a little bit, you've got to be able to run the ball.
Morris on 2nd down and 4 here. Submarines out to about the 32-yard line. Eddie and also Quentin Dial with gain of 5. They'll move the chains in a 1st down for Washington. Plus, you know, you play on the road, you have a game like this against a better San Francisco team, at least record-wise, you build confidence and a little bit of momentum here.
Yeah, you really do, and eventually you're going to be able to, the more you run the football, the more Vic Fangio, the defensive coordinator of the San Francisco 49ers, is going to become impatient and start taking some chances, and that will allow you, I think, to throw the ball down the field a little bit when you get one-on-one coverage.
Niners in their base. Here comes Griffin outside, and the aforementioned Garçon is out there with Cox. Oh, and he fumbled the ball. Was he out of bounds on the chalk? I think they nope. It's going to be Washington's ball. The far official said he stepped on the chalk. Gain of 5.
2nd down
on the catch by Pierre Garçon today. How many catches does he have? It's his 2nd of the afternoon.
Yeah, I think you're going to watch after the catch. Watch his right foot. Right there. Steps out of bounds before Cox is able to rip it out.
Rip it out, right. Jay Gruden said, we don't have a lot of time with Griffin. He's at a stage right now in his career where we need to see some improvement. He's on the road today, tied at 10 with the Niners, 2nd down and 5. Morris again picking and poking his way, just not a whole lot there. Borland, didn't you know it, right there. A flag has been thrown. It's a gain of 3 on the play up near the 39-yard line.
illegal formation. Number 68 was uncovered on the line of scrimmage. It's a 5-yard penalty. Still second down.
It's the Rams and the Chargers. We go to New York right now for an update, and here's James Brown.
Kevin, a San Diego win keeps him right in the midst of the playoff hunt.
Yes, and Phillip Rivers finds Keenan Allen for the 29-yard score. San Diego Superchargers, 27-17.
8:09 left in regulation. Back to Kevin Harlan.
That AFC West with Kansas City losing Thursday to the Raiders makes things even more interesting.
It's kind of jumbled up a lot like last year. Denver, Kansas City, and San Diego all made the postseason.
2nd and 10 handoff. Borland will wrap his arms around the waist of Morris and bring him down near the 36. He picks up 5 on the play, and now a breather with a 3rd down coming up. Morris will take a blow on the sideline.
I love watching Chris Borland. You know, the college tape was impressive. It was the measurables that really pushed him down. Said he wasn't big enough or strong enough or fast enough, but every time you watch the tape, he's making 15 tackles.
Oh, they said that about you, too. Look what you did.
That's why I'm working alongside you, because I wasn't big enough, strong enough, and smart enough.
Oh, only good enough to be an MVP in the NFL. 3rd and 5.
Here comes the pressure.
Oh, and they whack him. And he gets outside with a 1st down throw to Roberts, who's hit by Reed, and Griffin is down. I think it was Dante Johnson that came through. A flag is down where Griffin was drilled.
Holding, number 78, offense. 10-yard penalty, still 3rd down.
That's the center, Corey Lichtensteiger.
Yeah, he's just going to grab Chris Borland, and then you see, wow, look at the shot RG3 took.
Lifted him off his feet.
Big hit from Dante Johnson. Watch him hit him right in the sternum and knock him back. Those type of hits will knock the wind out of you.
Well, here's a dawning statistic. Redskins have missed their last 31, 3rd and 10 or longer.
Well, you got to be smart here, Kevin. 3rd and 15, you know, thinking screen or draw. You're not going to probably get it here. You just don't want to take a sack or have a negative play.
They need the 41, Halou. The block outside coming from Chester, the guard. Shy, he picks up 8. He'll be out to about the 32-yard line, and they got a punt.
Yeah, they're just going to run a little screen, and again, in this situation, you just can't afford a negative play, especially with the way your defense is playing in a 10-10 game. Halou has been very effective out of the backfield this season for the Redskins. 8 receptions of 20 yards or more. It's the most in football.
Antoine Bethea made that tackle, and here's the punt by Treshway. Fair caught, 29-yard line, Cox. 38-yard punt, 4-8 hang. Niner offense takes the field. You and Jim Harbaugh, the Niner coach, have crossed paths before.
Yeah, absolutely, Kevin. We competed against each other. We both came out in the draft in '87. He wound up being my quarterback coach when I was with the Raiders for a couple years. I have great respect for what he's accomplished. He's had more success in his first 3 seasons than any other coach in football.
After the punt by Washington, 1st and 10, Kaepernick at his 29. It's Gore. A block from Miller on Robinson. The ball is loose and recovered, taken that time by Philip Thomas. It's the 3rd turnover for San Francisco, a team that came in plus 10. Hyde has fumbled, and now perhaps Gore. They may look at it.
Well, I think it definitely comes out.
Oh, absolutely. It was out. Murphy knocked it out and vacuumed in by 2nd-year Fresno State player Philip Thomas, who was signed to the active roster from the practice squad November 1st.
We talk about carrying that ball high and tight. I think the problem there is Frank Gore never feels the backside linebacker, Trent Murphy.
Well, Gore has only fumbled once this season. That is number 2. And it gives the Redskins very good field position at the 36 of San Francisco. RG3 to Morris on 1st and 10. Justin Smith rides him down like a rodeo cowboy with a loss of a yard back to the 37. They call him Cowboy from the University of Missouri.
You mentioned Frank Gore, Kevin. He's about as sure-handed a runner as there is in football. It's very unusual for him to put it on the ground.
Second fumble loss by Gore this season. That's interesting. You take a look at how many times the Redskins have been in San Francisco territory. Second down and 11. Good time, deep drop, underneath, Polson. Brooks hit him, lost his hat, but not his head, and it was a run after the catch to the 36. Hit by a host of guys, including Borland down there. It's a gain of 1. What a resource, Rich, it must be for these quarterbacks to have as their head coach guys that played quarterback.
I think it's so important. You know, you forget about Jay Gruden, and he was a terrific professional quarterback player in the Arena League. He's coached the position. Look at the success that he had with Andy Dalton those first 3 years in Cincinnati. He won 30 games. You've got two guys calling plays and coaching the quarterbacks, helping to call the plays that were terrific players at that position.
It's third down and 10. Holu is in. Here he goes. They need the 26. Great block by Jackson, who's not known as a blocker. And he swerves down. RG3 does to the 28. He picks up 8 on the play. Fourth down. And they'll try for 3. It's 4th and 2. Just inside the San Francisco 28.
It's a quarterback draw all the way. He's going to take a step or two, and then you see Holu. He goes up inside. You see the receivers blocking down the field. Just a lot to ask from RG3. Comes up just a bit short.
Forbath from 46. Missed 2 last week from 50 and 47. He's made 1 today from 46 for the lead and drills it. And San Francisco, 7:42 to play on the road. On top of the Niners, 13-10.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Walmart, where you'll find unbeatable prices on this year's top gifts. The award-winning 2015 Honda CR-V for wherever your next journey takes you. And by Bud Light, who reminds fans to stay in the game and drink responsibly.
Well, the defense has been holding, especially San Francisco. Look at that, 3 takeaways by the Redskins and only 3 points allowed by the Niner D.
Well, they lose this game, and that's what they'll fall back on and talk about. The fact that they didn't finish when they had opportunities. Look at the first 5 games of the season. 15 possessions down the red zone, they scored 10 times. The last 5 games, 14 possessions down there, they've only scored 5 touchdowns. Drop off in the red zone has been significant for the Redskins.
Forbath. Carlos Hyde, here he comes. Looking for a Miller block, and he was initially hit by Akeem Davis and knocked down on the play by Niles Paul. 29-yard return. Thursday night football returns in 2 weeks. Romo and the Cowboys take on the Bears as 2 of the NFL's greatest franchises meet in prime time. Thursday night football returns December 4th at 8 Eastern live on NFL Network. So Kaepernick, as you take a look at these 2 teams, the only undefeated team on the road this season, 4-0 Dallas. Kaepernick with 3 timeouts and 7.5 to go. It's 1st and 10. Oh, he's sacked right there. Back at the 19-yard line. Not a lot of breathing space. Coming through that time was Hatcher, who had signed as a free agent from Dallas.
Well, you're going to see him right here. I mean, he just works through the single, just stays after it. You see Kerrigan gets upfield, forces Kaepernick to step up. Jason Hatcher right there for the sack.
How about that? He's been sacked more than any other quarterback on first down this season.
That's really surprising, Kevin. That's unusual. I mean, in those situations, if it's not there, you simply throw the ball away. Can't afford a negative play on 1st and 10.
It's 2nd down and 16. Swings it outside to Bolden. Grabbed by Robinson. Hit by the rookie, Greg Ducray. It is a gain of 10. He's up to the 29. Let's go to New York and James Brown.
Kevin, Denver is putting up a fight.
Hey, Peyton Manning's going to find Demaryius Thomas for the 5-yard score. Afterwards, he's going to drop back, go for the two-point conversion, and finds Emmanuel Sanders. Denver narrowing the gap. Miami leads 28-25.
11-17 left in regulation. Kevin Harlan and Rich Gannon.
Terrific game.
I never thought that Denver would be in a fist fight with Miami at home.
Isn't it amazing what they've done?
I give Joe Philbin a lot of credit for
Line game.
preparing that team to play at such a high level the last 6 weeks. Look at this overload. Some confusion by the quarterback.
It was a 3rd and 6. Niners have used their first timeout. 6:17 in the 4th in Santa Clara.
You know, sometimes defensive coordinator Jim Haslett forgets he's not a player anymore. He wants to be right down there in the mix. You see him jawing with Anquan Bolden. He is intense, even in the meetings that we have prior to the games.
Here it comes, Boom.
It's 3rd and 6. Bolden has had 3 third down receptions today for the Niners.
What do you say?
Kaepernick grabbed by Davis. He's hit by Robinson and by Thomas, shy of the first. We think, let's see where the spot is, east of the 35. Oh, they got the first down.
Wow, really close there.
Very close. Would you challenge that?
That's one you got to look at. That was really close.
He's got the red flag, the challenge flag in his hand.
And he throws it.
Just drew it. Okay. So they're going to challenge the spot. Most of these teams, if not all, have people in the box that are looking at the replay themselves and give advice.
He looked to me to be short of the 35-yard line when he caught the ball.
I knew it was going to be close.
Washington is challenging the ruling on the field that the line of game was made for a first down.
Washington will challenge. Right now, it's been ruled a first down. It was Vernon Davis who caught it, Robinson, and Phillips. Thomas who makes the stop.
The NFL on CBS is sponsored by Subway Restaurants. Subway is saying thanks this season with $2 subs. And by the Home Depot. More saving, more doing. That's the power of the Home Depot.
Redskins challenging the first down call.
After reviewing the play, receiver gained possession of the ball. His forward progress was stopped with the ball short of the 35-yard line. It'll be 4th down from the 34.5. Washington will not be charged with a timeout.
They're going to leave the offense out there, and they're going to go for it. San Francisco will go for it. How about that? The first challenge won by the Redskins this year. So 78 coming in, Joe Looney to add more beef on that San Francisco line. They need the 35. It's 4th and less than a yard.
Well, we've seen Jim Harbaugh, Kevin, a couple times now be aggressive in this game. This is a very aggressive call here. 5 minutes to go in the game.
Gore got the first down. Lunges to the 37. Brought down by Robinson. Picks up 4 for Frank Gore. And the Niners will move the chains.
That sends a message to that offense that we are not going to be conservative. If we can't make a half a yard, we don't deserve to win this football game. 49ers have struggled. Only 68 yards of offense, Kevin, here in the second half.
2 timeouts remaining for San Francisco. It is a 1st and 10 from their own 37.
The thing about Jim Harbaugh, he doesn't coach scared.
Monday.
2 type of people in this world. Those that feel pressure and those that apply it. And he is the type that wants to apply it.
Carlos Hyde is in. Downfield they go. Bolden. Flags all over the place. Ryan Clark led with his helmet. Brought down by Breland and by Robinson. He works his way to the 34 of the Redskins. Clark laid out as he goes head-to-head, literally, with Anquan Bolden. And Clark has a history of concussions. 29-yard pickup.
And he's got a history of these type of hits, but boy, I can't say enough about the toughness of Anquan Bolden. Kevin, he's going to get hit. And he doesn't even flinch. He knows exactly that ball is coming late down the middle. The safety's reading the eyes of the quarterback the whole way, and he gets lit up, and he doesn't flinch.
Foul, unnecessary roughness. hit on a defenseless player, number 25 defense. That 15-yard penalty will be enforced from the end of the run. The ruling on the field was a catch. First down.
Wow. What a tight window.
Bolden got it for the gain of 29. Now he's got 8 catches for 127 yards.
Sometimes you don't have to see a good hit. You can just hear it.
Or feel it up here.
And that was great concentration by Anquan Bolden. Look at the respect that those two players have for one another.
Niners have been in a position like this before. They have won. San Francisco has a couple of games trailing in the fourth quarter. Kansas City and New Orleans. So after the catch of 29 by Bolden, they're inside the Redskin 20 with a 1st and 10. Hyde is in. Carlos Hyde runs into his own blocker. There's Martin. But he slips his way inside the 15. Good hard running by Hyde. A rookie who was brought down by Cofield and others at about the 14 on a gain of 5.
Well, what a great effort by Hyde. That was terrific.
Two timeouts for the Niners. 3 for the Skins. It's passing the 4-minute mark right now in the fourth. Kaepernick.
Hey, Ricky, 52.
2nd and 5. Collin today, 19 of 28. He's thrown a 30-yard touchdown pass already to Bolden. Underneath Bolden. Shoulders his way into the 5. Brought down by Davis and hit by Perry Riley Jr. Gain of 10 to the 4. 1st and goal, San Francisco. Bolden's been huge on this drive.
You know, you make a play like he made, Kevin, a few plays ago, and that gets everybody fired up. It takes courage to do what Anquan Bolden does, working in the middle of the field. And he makes it look easy.
Using that clock, valuable time. Dripping away, 1st and goal at the 4. Hyde, touchdown. And San Francisco has taken the lead.
Well, just watch Carlos Hyde. You talk about running with some attitude. And again, it's our guy Ryan Clark. He just blows him up right in the hole.
They did bring back in Ryan Clark, as you saw. His hit on Hyde didn't slow him down. Key on that drive, they converted 4th and less than a yard. It kept the drive alive on a 4-yard run by Gore. Here's the extra point, which gives the Niners a 17-13 lead over the Redskins. Under 3 to go. 8 plays, 75-yard drive, and the rookie Buckeye Hyde takes it in for 6. Tonight, how safe are America's bridges and roads? Not very. Don't miss the 60 Minutes investigation that affects every American. It's tonight on 60 Minutes, only CBS. So Hyde takes it in. Bolden with catches on that drive of 29 and 10. They convert a 4th and less than a yard in their own territory with Gore. And they've taken the lead. Now it's Washington with a look at Ryan Clark, who had the helmet-to-helmet with another 15 on top of an already impressive reception by Bolden. Redskins have 3 timeouts, Rich. Down by 4.
Plenty of time, Kevin. 2:59, all 3 timeouts.
Roberts, and he lets it go. I think he was looking for the return. Through his hands. Touchback to the 20-yard line. The last 3 games for the Niners have come down to the final minutes. Week 9, St. Louis, Kaepernick fumbling on the goal line, losing by 3. Week 10 at New Orleans. Dawson's 35-yard field goal wins it in overtime. Last week, the Giants, Borland's interception at the 2. With just under 5 left, kept the Niners in front in their 16-10 win.
Yeah, terrific goal line stand last week. We just saw against the Giants in the fourth quarter. The Giants actually had 1st and 4 at the 4, 3 incompletions and an interception by Borland on 4th down to seal it. And need that type of effort, that type of finish here from their defense.
Halou is in. 1st and 10 for Robert Griffin III. Hit by Alden Smith. Pass dropped by Deshaun Jackson on a cross. Coverage on the play by Chris Culliver. 2nd and 10.
Boy, Chris Culliver was in the back pocket, actually on the other side of the field. With the coverage up top, very good. But Culliver was coming across on the covering Deshaun Jackson on the in route. He was in the back pocket of Deshaun Jackson.
2nd and 10. Niners in the nickel. Here comes Smith. And brought down by the rookie Aaron Lynch. With a sack right there. 4th sack, loss of 3.
Well, I've really been impressed, Kevin, with this San Francisco pass rush. This rookie, Aaron Lynch out of South Florida, has caught my eye as well as I've watched this unit play. He's developing into a really good pass rusher off the edge.
3rd and 13. They need their own 30. And incomplete. They were going for Roberts. Dante Johnson was there. Borland in front. 4th down. They will punt.
Well, the negative play, the sack, was the killer. They've got 3 timeouts and a 2-minute warning, so they can't punt the football in this situation. But boy,
well, they'll be
wasted opportunity
for Washington. Rich, they're going to get the 2-minute warning, which will stop the clock. They've got all 3 of their timeouts. San Francisco with 2 timeouts remaining. Way and back to Parrish Cox. Was this cleanly at the 33? Knocked down on the play by the Redskins, Everett Brown. 50-yard punt, no return, flag is down. 1:57 to go. This will constitute our 2-minute warning.
During the return, illegal block in the back, number 31, receiving team. 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul. It'll be 1st down.
Rookie free agent L.J. McCray will pick it up, much to the chagrin of Jim Harbaugh. 2-minute warning. Niners by 4. San Francisco finds themselves right in the thick of the race in the NFC. Green Bay won today. Philadelphia won today. Arizona was losing. Did I see that correctly? Yes, to Seattle.
San Francisco, Kevin's had a difficult time running the football today. Only 63 rushing yards.
1st and 10. Hyde hit by Merriweather and careens his way to the 28, and Washington will take a timeout. You think? Yep, there they took it. Took it right there. Seattle did beat Arizona today, so that will set up what could be a terrific, well, it's going to be good either way, divisional foes here Thanksgiving night. Then the Seahawks play San Francisco.
Can't look past this one. I mean, they still got a lot of work to do here. They've got to get a 1st down. If they don't get a 1st down running the football here, you assume that the Redskins will use those final 2 timeouts, Kevin. Washington could get the ball back with about 1:40 to go in this game.
Saving those timeouts.
No timeouts, absolutely.
Yeah. 2nd and short 4. I wasn't conceding a win. I was just saying, regardless of what happens, it's going to be a terrific game here Thursday night.
2 teams that are very familiar with one another.
2nd down, short 4.
Another timeout.
Take it right there. Hyde works his way into the grasp of Robinson to the 29, and a meager yard gained right there. Another timeout. That is the 2nd, taken by the Redskins. So we're talking about these games. That's that Cardinal Seahawk game coming up on the 23rd today, which we saw Seattle win up in the Pacific Northwest. Seahawks here, San Francisco in Seattle in the middle of December. I mean, they're all intertwined here as we
a lot of important
go
games
down the road. Yeah,
playoff implications certainly. Kevin, Arizona's had a terrific season. San Francisco and Seattle both fighting for obviously a playoff spot, and Arizona getting it done with their backup quarterback.
3rd down and 3 for Kaepernick and the Niner offense. 3rd and 3. Hyde remains. Hyde grabbed by Hatcher. Yep, they'll bring him down. Cofield was there. And finally, Trent Murphy, loss of a yard. So they'll go back to the 27.
With everybody up around the line of scrimmage, it's the way it's going to be. Penetration kills that run. The back knows that he's got to be able to make somebody miss in the hole, but boy, he had no chance there. Hatcher on his back as soon as he gets the ball.
Redskins look like a top 10 defense, don't they? That's where they're ranked.
Really, you know what? It was the defense today, Kevin, that's kept them in this football game. The offense has had their problems. It's been a pretty conservative game plan from Jay Gruden. They've tried to run the football a lot. Obviously, with Alfred Morris, 21 carries, 125 yards. You look at RG3, just 106 yards passing today. Going to get some good field position here and an opportunity inside 2 minutes.
4th and 5 to punt. Here is Andy Lee needing a big one. It's Deshaun Jackson at the 17. Flag is down. Controne came in there, and also Dahl. And the flag, 2 of them, one at the 15, one at the 20, and another one, a third at midfield.
Well, that's a killer. You're going to get a clip blocking the back by Akeem Davis, and that'll push him back, Kevin, 15 more yards. Yeah, it's right here in the middle of your screen. You just see right here. And then they don't miss that. As you see Deshaun Jackson trying to make a play. You got to pull off.
Special teams penalties, Rich. That will be the 3rd special team penalty today on the Redskins, and we know special teams have been a long issue.
21 special teams penalties now on the season, which you'd have to assume is the most in football.
Bubba Ventrone, slow to his feet, but up nonetheless. To New York and James Brown.
Denver, 22 unanswered.
Yes, Peyton Manning's going to find Wells Walker following a T.J. Ward interception. Call this the icing on the cake. Denver up 39-28.
Talk about explosive. Kevin Harlan, Rich Gannon.
Play, both on the receiving team. Holding number 82 during the kick of the receiving team. That penalty will be declined. Illegal block in the back, number 47 of the receiving team. That foul occurred during the return. And we'll go half the distance from the spot of the foul. 1st down.
He was signed off the practice squad in late October. By the way, just finishing up that Miami-Denver update from New York. Miami losing another game in the 4th quarter. They lost earlier in the 4th quarter after a lead to Green Bay.
Hard to win on the road in this business.
It is. They lost that first one to the Packers with the 4th quarter lead in Miami. So that's 2 for a team that's just trying to emerge in the AFC, the Dolphins. All right, here. Redskins out of timeouts, Rich. They're down by 4. They've got it at their 8, 1st and 10.
Well, they've got to attack the boundary. They've got to be able to throw the ball down the field, those deep bench routes. You've got to go after the safeties. And RG3, if it's not there, throw the ball away. You cannot afford a sack in this situation.
Aldon Smith is in, nickel secondary for San Francisco.
Oh, you have a false start.
Yep, sure was.
That might be on San Francisco.
1st and 10 right there. It is against the Redskins.
Prior to the snap, full start, number 76, offense. Half the distance to the goal, 1st down still.
Left tackle Morgan Moses, 1st NFL start today.
Well, keep an eye on Aldon Smith. He moves first, and then you see the tackle flinch. The official must not have seen that. He reacts to what he saw from Smith.
1st and 14 is now what's ahead of Washington.
Boy, time is not on their side right now, the Redskins. You need chunks of yards, big plays.
Please reset the game clock for 1 minute, 29 seconds. 1:29 on the game clock.
Oh.
Thank you.
Again, Washington is out of timeouts. 2 remaining for the Niners. 1st and 14.
And Kevin, if there's a completion in the field of play, there has to be a sense of urgency from this offensive line, from the receivers, everybody, to hustle back to the line of scrimmage. Give RG3 a chance to clock it.
Palu in the backfield with Griffin. Outside, incomplete. They were going for the tight end, Niles Paul. 2nd and 14. Coverage on the play by the 2 linebackers.
You just don't have time to complete these 4- and 5-yard routes. Got to be able to throw the ball down the field. You've got 96 yards to go in 1:25. You're not going to get it done with 4- and 5-yard completions.
Wilhoit was all over that coverage, the linebacker watching the Redskin tight end.
You got to give one of these receivers a chance to go make a play on the ball.
2nd and 14.
Can't hold it.
Now he runs and the clock will tick, and he's brought down by Brooks. The gain to about the 10. Picks up 6. No way to stop it for the Redskins via a timeout. They're done. Out of them. 3rd and 8. Oh, from behind, Justin Smith. Ball was coughed up. It was recovered by San Francisco. Grabbed on the play by Ahmad Brooks. It's San Francisco's ball, and the door shut on Washington.
Well, a couple things here. If I'm the back, I'm going to be offset a little bit and help out with the tackle. He releases inside. That allows Smith to work on the rookie left tackle, Morgan Moses, who's had a tough time with not just Justin Smith, but with Aldon Smith. You see, he just goes for the body, and Justin Smith just beats him around the edge, knocks the ball out right into the hands of Ahmad Brooks.
What a difference a week can make for Brooks. First of all, Smith has the big hit. And then Brooks, who had to sit on the bench the entire second half last week after getting in a heated debate with one of the assistant coaches over playing time, comes up with a fumble recovery, which helps seal the San Francisco win. The Niners go to 7-4. They've won 3 in a row, and they've won 6 of 8.
Well, 5 sacks today of RG3, and just a tough time. They had a difficult time throwing the football today and protecting against this San Francisco defense.
Redskins will drop to 4-8, 3rd consecutive loss. They lose their 7th in the last 9 as Harbaugh and Gruden shake. 3 turnovers by San Francisco kept this interesting, and now this sets up a Seattle 49er game on Thursday night, which should be terrific and a great way to finish Thanksgiving. 3rd time this season where the Niners overcame a 4th quarter deficit to win. And they do it. A 30-yard touchdown pass to Bolden. They got a 4-yard touchdown run by Hyde and a 41-yard field goal to beat Washington 17-13.
You got to wonder what's next.
Colin Kaepernick is standing by with our Scott Kaplan.
Well, that was one rough physical football game, wasn't it?
Yeah, defense played great once again, carried us to this victory. Our offensive line played great as well, helped us get this win.
Fortunate to get this win when you turned the ball over the way you did. What was going on out there?
Just mistakes that we can't have. We have to have better ball security, bad decision by me on the pick. We just have to be better in those phases.
Sets up for a big Thursday night game coming up on Thanksgiving.
Yes, we got Seattle coming in. It's going to be a big game. We have to be prepared for them.
Colin, great game. Thank you very much. Back to you guys.
So we had a lead by Washington in the 4th, and San Francisco comes back to grab it from RG3 and the Washington Redskins. San Francisco wins it 17-13. Kaepernick was 20 of 29. Gore had 36 yards on the ground. Bolden, a big day, 9 catches, 137. Let's take you to New York and James Brown.